A Guide to Living a Balanced Life. In our modern world, the concept of balance often feels like a mythical destination, a serene, unreachable island that we are all trying to swim toward while weighed down by heavy backpacks of responsibility. We tend to visualize a balanced life as a perfectly steady scale, where work weighs exactly the same as leisure, and social obligations serve as a perfect counterweight to solitude. But if we are being honest with ourselves, that kind of static perfection is not only impossible, it is boring. True balance isn't about standing perfectly still. It is about learning how to move, sway, and adjust without falling over. It is a dynamic act, much like riding a bicycle or surfing a wave. It requires intention, forgiveness, and a friendly approach to your own humanity. To begin this journey, we have to dismantle the idea that we can have it all simultaneously. The pressure to be the perfect employee, the perfect partner, the perfect parent, and the fittest person at the gym all in the same 24 hours is a recipe for burnout, not balance. A more effective and sincere approach is to view your life in seasons or rhythms rather than rigid daily schedules. There will be weeks where your career demands 80% of your energy, leaving little for hobbies. There will be other weeks where family or personal health must take center stage. Accepting this ebb and flow removes the guilt that often plagues us when we feel we aren't giving 100% to everything at once. Balance is the long-term average, not the daily scorecard. One of the most overlooked pillars of a balanced life is the management of energy, not just time. You can organize your calendar down to the minute, but if you approach a cherished hour of free time completely exhausted, that time holds no value. Start paying attention to your internal battery. What tasks drain you? What interactions leave you feeling revitalized? It might be that a coffee with a specific friend energizes you, while scrolling through social media for an hour leaves you feeling lethargic and envious. Living a balanced life means becoming a protective guardian of your energy. It involves the difficult but necessary art of saying no. Saying no to obligations that do not align with your values is actually saying yes to your own well-being. It is not selfish, it is strategic preservation of the self so that you can show up fully for the things that actually matter. We must also address the physical vessel that carries us through this life. Often, we treat our bodies like machines that we can fuel with caffeine and sugar, expecting them to run indefinitely without maintenance. A friendly approach to physical balance isn't about punishing workouts or restrictive diets that make you miserable. It is about listening. It is about moving your body in ways that feel celebratory rather than punitive. Maybe for you, that is walking in nature, dancing in your kitchen, or simply stretching for 10 minutes before bed. When you prioritize sleep and nourishment, not to look a certain way, but to feel a certain way, the friction in your life begins to decrease. A well-rested mind handles stress with grace. A tired mind turns small hurdles into insurmountable mountains. In our hyper-connected era, digital boundaries are perhaps the hardest line to draw. Yet they are essential for mental equilibrium. We are constantly bombarded with the highlight reels of other people's lives, which distorts our perception of reality and success. The constant ping of notifications creates a fractured attention span, preventing us from ever entering a state of deep flow or true relaxation. Creating balance requires designated periods of disconnection, This could be a digital sunset where screens are turned off an hour before bed, or device-free meals. When you reclaim your attention from the algorithm, you suddenly find you have more time than you thought. You have time to read, to cook, to stare out the window, or to have a conversation that isn't interrupted by a vibrating pocket. This analog connection grounds us and reminds us of the tangible world, which is far more forgiving than the digital one. Furthermore, emotional balance requires us to cultivate a relationship with ourselves that is rooted in self-compassion. We are often our own harshest critics. When we slip up, miss a deadline, or skip a workout, the internal monologue can be brutal. But you cannot bully yourself into a balanced life. Try to treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer a dear friend. If a friend told you they were overwhelmed, you wouldn't yell at them to work harder. You would tell them to take a break. Grant yourself that same grace. Acknowledge your feelings without judgment. If you are sad, let yourself be sad. If you are anxious, acknowledge the anxiety without letting it drive the car. Emotional regulation is a skill, and like any skill, it improves with practice. Finally, remember that a balanced life includes room for chaos and spontaneity. If every moment is optimized for productivity or self-improvement, you lose the magic of being alive. Leave empty space in your life. Allow yourself to be bored. Allow yourself to wander. Some of the best ideas and the most profound moments of joy come from the unplanned interludes between our scheduled events. Balance includes the frivolous, the silly, and the unproductive. It is the laughter shared over a meal, the walk taken with no destination, and the afternoon nap taken just because the sun was warm. Ultimately, living a balanced life is a personal experiment. There is no universal blueprint because your values, your energy levels, and your circumstances are unique to you. It is a process of constant calibration. Some days you will tilt too far to the left, other days too far to the right. That is okay. The goal is not to freeze in the center, but to build the muscles that allow you to center yourself again and again. Be patient with the process, be kind to yourself, and remember, the journey itself is the destination. If this perspective on finding balance resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and tell me one small change you are planning to make this week to find your center. If you enjoyed this video and want to support more content like this, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so we can continue this journey toward a better, more balanced life together.